Okay, pretty much coming into the day. Uh, Overall, remember we were talking about the last week, like beginning, wrapping up December week. How we made what do you call it? High of the month, low of the month, and price has just been trading away, and we're just looking at what price is doing overall. All right. So overall, if you look at price from like high of the month to low of the month right here, boom, we will see that price pretty much rebalanced in the CE of the entire range, right? We were in discount, and from there, price swept some DOL, some liquidity here, and from there, we've just been bullish, okay? We've just been trading higher and higher and higher, all right? So, rebounds to CE, and we've just seen continuation higher and higher, all right? 15 minutes, same thing. Week opens, and we've just been straight up pumping, taking out our DOLs here. Let me mark it out properly. You have it here, you have it here, and ES swept previous month high at the same time here. So we have low of the week here, and you have high of the week here. How do you know this is high of the week? Because the reaction we're getting from it, we're instantly flipping. You know what I'm saying? It's like not even 9:30 a.m. and we're flipping. We're flipping the whole narrative. The whole bias pretty much. Prices started short, and from there we literally just stopped like nice 170 points. From there, we see that continuation lower, right? Once you think you have low of the week or high of the week, this is really good to understand and spot. Like let's say Wednesday or Thursday, going into Thursday, literally just draw out your fib from the current low of the week to high of the week. And if you look at price, have we made any proper rebalances inside, okay? From making low of the week or let's say high of the week, all right? Because remember, these how all candles move, open low, high closes one of them. Where the candle opens low, all right, to make let's say the low of it, 1 hour lows, 4 hour lows, 1 day low, 1 week low, and from there it will go to make the other side of the candle. For example, like the high. Okay, so we have the low, we have the high. What is the candle gonna do? It's gonna look to rebalance at least in the CE of the range to then continue higher for like last month candle, December's. All right, from here, once you see price rebalance into the CE, right? That's why I was bearish for Thursday. Really easy, clean macro continuation shorts. Why? Because I want to see price continue lower. Especially after this accumulation didn't really take us higher, and the internal manipulation here didn't really hold on the higher time frame. Price legit just swept the highs. Okay, rebounds back into the SIB because we're still bearish from Wednesday, and from there we just dumped. Okay, from there we took out this internal low on like the high time frame. You guess you could call it internal, whatever, but pretty much it is external on the low time frame. After price took it out, what have we been doing? We've legit just been trading away. Price has been bullish. All right, from there, you could see that price was legit just building up, building up, building up, liquidity overall. Okay, the reason NFP wasn't bearish, right? I was expecting it to be bearish. Why? Because for price to rebalance, okay, Thursday or Friday, for example, or if we have news will look to rebalance the weekly candle if it hasn't rebalanced. It will look to take out accumulation if the weekly candle hasn't already been rebalanced, all right? But in this case, the weekly candle has been rebalanced already, and we're already in the CE of the range, and we've been bullish. So, NFP is going to be bullish, right? Because we rebalance. If price really wanted to be bearish, it would have kept going lower, or price would have sat here for like let's say Thursday. It didn't really do much, and then you would have like NFP dumping lower to take out accumulation, to rebalance, and to equal out everything. All right. Give me a second. All right. Back to what I was saying. We're good. Okay. We're chilling. Price already rebalanced Thursday. Thursday, 9:30, we just dumped lower. We took out everything, and we rebalanced the weekly candle, and we took out some of this accumulation. Nice, cool. So, weekly candle is already rebalanced. Okay, so NFP has no purpose to continue going lower because we're already in discount. Look at price; it's already below the CE. We're already in discount, and we already took out some draws in discount. Okay, so for price to continue lower, it wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That's why you react, and that's why you don't like predict. If I just kept marrying this as high of the week, and this has like let's say a protected high, and we're gonna keep shorting from, I would have hit SL today. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you react. What price is giving you, what price is doing. Okay. Once you see price take out this internal draw, we're in discount, and you see price reversing and it's continuing higher, treat it as that. Okay. You might have accumulation here that price is gonna look to sweep, but overall, if you're bullish, price rebalance. So I already feel it already filled all the criteria for price to continue. All right. From there, start of the day, same thing, continuation. Price did rebalance back into the SIBI here, okay, but it didn't really do anything here. You know what I'm saying? It just rebalanced, okay. You might have had like manipulation here, but overall, price didn't really continue any lower. You know what I'm saying? It literally just sat here and then just continued higher. So from here, you can treat these as like protected lows. Okay, price is not really seeing any continuation lower, so you're gonna treat it. You're gonna treat these lows as like protected. You know, price is gonna look. It's not gonna look to sweep it. Why? Because we're coming off a strong, like turtle soup here on the left side. Okay, and if price really wanted to continue lower, we would have had this SIBI rebalance here. Price rebalanced into it, and then we would have dumped. We wouldn't have edged the CE here and then pushed higher. You know what I'm saying? From there, NFP opened up bullish. Another indication that we're still bullish, okay? If we're bearish, why would news be bullish? Doesn't make sense. Alright, so again, another sign indicating that price is looking to continue higher and go higher. 930 was a bit tricky, but if you just opened your eyes and seen we have all this accumulation, price is gonna look to sweep it here, okay? Then going off this pure reaction and understanding of how markets move, you would have known we can't just build up like this without coming back to sweep something inside to then go higher. You know, price has to have some form of manipulation, either an SMT, either a turtle soup, either taking out price in it of itself. That's another form of manipulation, like liquidity sweep. You know what I'm saying? So coming into 9:30, all right, 9 a.m. we sweep this high. Okay, so overall you have continuation, very choppy continuation higher. Price swept the high, but we're still inside of this right here on the left. You know what I'm saying? When this gets taken out, you're not going to see like a fat reversal down. You're just going to see a short-term reversal to take out liquidity before price continues higher, okay? Because look at the left of it. This is why you have to keep in mind what's behind pieces of structure. You know what I'm saying? If you just looked at this high, you would have been like, oh, we sniped this high. Dude, we're going to reverse. We're going to continue lower. This is like really prominent. This is like high day, whatever. No. Look to the left. You have still accumulation here. So price is not going to stop until it takes out all the accumulation, you know? Price chases accumulation, liquidity, whatever. It's looking to take all that out. All right, 9 a.m. Boom. We start shorting. We start dumping. Before even 9:30 opened up, we're how far down? Let me see. From the DOL, we're down like 150 points. Okay, from like before even 9:30 opens up. Okay, so you know 9:30 is gonna look to manipulate a low, reverse, and then continue down lower until it meets the full draw. Okay, your full draw was Asia low. Why did it not go any lower? Because at the same time we had SMT. So here, price made at SMT and turtle soup. So you had a fat order block here you could have longed from, right? And you could have held the bitch throughout the whole day till back up to highs or whatever you'd like. You know what I'm saying? We had SMT, turtle soup with lower day. So price took it out, ES didn't, and from there we've just been trading away. Okay, 9:30 opened up. Okay, we see price take out all this low resting liquidity. All right, but it's not stopping. It's not slowing down. It's looking for something else. It's looking for something lower. Right. So your next idea would be London lows right here. Okay, what is price doing after taking out London lows? Are we continuing dumping? Are we rebalancing dumping? From there, you would have reacted. Okay, you see we have the SIBI here. All right, let me change the color. Boom. You see the SIBI here. Okay. Price is respecting it. Okay, but we don't see any candle closure lower. We don't see price displace any lower. Okay. So you'd have known. Okay. This might hold for a short-term reversal before we start selling off again. Maybe to take out more liquidity below us or just continue higher. Overall, your price right now should be longs. Why? 9 a.m. to 9:30, we've just been dumping. Price needs to rebalance somewhere in the range or somewhere like higher or even in the CE of the range before continuing selling off. Okay. You have manipulation. You have turtle soup at London lows. Okay. You have SIBI respect, but you don't have any displacement lower. So this price to continue lower doesn't make sense. So the only logical thing that price needs to do right now is continue higher to take out some form of like manipulation here, like to internally manipulate before selling off again. All right. So first pair of longs you could have taken was at the inverse of the SIBI. Okay. Once you've seen that price is failing to go lower and you see price displace past this high. I know the candles here were like really wicking. Like in 10 seconds, it like pumped. 30 seconds it came back down, in the last seconds it pumped again. But if you just waited for candle closure, you would have been safe. So let's say you waited for candle closure, you entered here. Okay, stop loss would have been crazy, I'm not gonna lie, but you would have had it at this wick, the last low. Okay, And from there, you would have trailed it and de-risked along the way. But overall, if you're going for a base 30 points, you would have been met instantly on the next candle here. If 1-to-1 would have been met, let's say you were targeting the SIBI, would have been met. If you targeting these accumulation highs right here inside the SIBI, right? Boom. Price would have met it perfectly, and you would have hit TP for 1-to-2 almost. You know, you would have been safe. So long as anywhere here, it would have been fine as long as you had your stop loss below here. Let's say you took it here. Stop loss has to be here because this is the BISI now, and price is displacing, but this would have been risky to take. Why? Because we're getting close to these highs, all right? Especially when you have like highs like these and you see price dump a lot and 930 opens up and we start reversing. Just be careful, okay? Because these highs could hold as like an area to short from. You know, you have a lot of people trying to short here from these order blocks, you know, because you have an order block up there. You could have caught shorts before 930 opened up, but these were risky, okay? And you have people in longs here, so you have liquidity on both sides. So how would you go about this? Okay, what is price doing on ES? Let's go on ES. Boom. Same time, you see ES, it didn't really dig any lower. You know, you have just SMT as well with like London lows. You know, it didn't dig any lower. It just took out some accumulation, but from there it rebalanced before selling off. It rebalanced back where? Inside the order block here with these highs. So price rebalanced back inside the order block and we started selling off again. That's why NQ was perfect, because if you looked at ES, you would have seen, okay, ES is getting close to this high, all right? Price is not going to look to continue going past them. Why? Because we see ES reversing. If you see ES reversing and NQ is still lagging behind, just know NQ is going to do some fuck shit. Like a fat wick is going to come out of nowhere and fuck you up. All right? So we got over the longs. Longs were clean anywhere in this direction after the SIBI got inversed. And you have Turtle Soup and SMT at London lows. Price takes it out. TPs at this SIBI right here. Why? Because this was the last SIBI before price started dumping and selling off. We have like candles here, you know, price could take out. But from the reaction, we're just having straight, clean, bullish reaction. Same time, ES got close to the high and it edged it and it started reversed from it. So you can treat this as like a no-no zone. Like you're not trying to trade to it, okay? You're trying to trade away from it until let's say we meet the draw below us or we take out more accumulation. All right. From here, once you see price respect the SIBI, you have internal manipulation, okay? And from there, prices are selling off. You wouldn't have taken anything here. Why? Because it's all chop and accumulation. You're waiting for candle closure. All right. This whole time we're inside the BISI. Boom. And price has been chopping. Once you see price like wick a lot inside of a SIBI, just know we're gonna like destroy it. So you're just waiting for candle closure, literally. Okay. You could have entered here, yeah, inside the SIBI, but it was really dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So it would have been better to wait for candle closure, and it would have confirmed. All right. So once you got candle closure here, boom. Let's say you entered as soon as it displaced past the low. All right. Stop loss at the high of it, at the high of the SIBI. 34 points, which would have been met literally in the same candle. And let's say you were TPing, let's say at the low of this order block, it would have been met still. So anywhere on this candle, let's say entering, it would have been fine. Like even if you entered at the very bottom in the last, like let's say 10, 15 seconds, whatever, 30 points would have been met still. But overall, where's your stop loss? It has to cover the entire SIBI because this is a SIBI. You know what I'm saying? So if you had your stops in the right place and you entered anywhere in it, you would have been fine. Especially here, after we make the SIBI, okay, price is still inside of it. We haven't inversed it, but what is price doing? Okay. Oh, what do you call it? My bad. So you have total manipulation. Price is chopping around, yeah, but what do we see? We have a total manipulation, turtle soup, nice turtle soup, okay, and we're still respecting this SIBI. You know, we're still bearish. You know what I'm saying? We're not seeing any continuation past, let's say, these highs for us to say we're longing, right? We're still looking to short. So you have, again, total manipulation inside the SIBI because we still haven't displaced past it. We're still respecting it, even though it's by like a wick or a tick, I mean. From here, total manipulation at the gill side SMT. It was very small SMT, but it didn't even matter really. All you had to know is that after you made this turtle soup, price started selling off, okay? And let's say you were waiting for more confirmation. Boom. Again, candle closure. Let's say you entered here. Stop loss, let's say here. Targeting, let's say, this internal low. Any of these internal lows would have been fine. All right. And from there, you would have, let's say, you even target on 1-to-1, which would have been met. But this would have been fine to target. Overall, your DOL was any of these lows here. Boom, 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 boom. Even though they are protected, yes, you have to think about it. We manipulated higher, all right, and we're selling off, and price is rebalancing. So if price wants to go lower, we want to see what price does at these lows. Okay, here we took it out, we rebalanced, and we sold off again. Okay, so your next DOL would be here, Asia lows. What is price doing at Asia lows? All right, we have SMT, turtle soup, and what do we see? Price start immediately reversing. All right, so for the longs, you could have easily snapped in the second we started inversing the SIBI. Okay, because if you look at it, this is all accumulation. Price is manipulating lower to distribute higher. Okay, when we manipulated lower, what did we take out? We took out a nice draw, and we made two forms of manipulation, and we have a nice inversion of a fair value gap. All right, you could have longed anywhere at the candle closure. Here doesn't matter. All right, you could have even like longed here at the order block after the candle closure, but it would have been risky. But let's say you longed at the candle closure. I saw at the low of the BISI and TP again 25 points, which would have been met. SIBI would have been met. Anywhere here would have been fine to target. Okay, and from here you could have kept longing at any rebalance here as well. This is a cluster of like bearish candles. Okay, nothing huge, nothing, let's say like a fat BISI or a SIBI, for example. Like this is a nice SIBI that price could rebalance into, because this is a cluster of candles, accumulation, but this is displacement. All right, you want to see rebound, you want to see price rebalance back inside of displacement, not accumulation. If you're in accumulation, that means manipulation hasn't happened. Okay, but if we take out accumulation, that means okay, manipulation has happened. All right, and we might see a continuation or a reversal, either or, but we're gonna react. Okay, so here, once we see price inverse these clean SIBIs that are displacing lower to our DOLs, price is not gonna look to stop at these small clusters of bearish candles. It's gonna look to continue blasting. So you could have longed here again after you've seen this continuation candle. Boom. Stop loss anywhere, but it has to be below the BISI, counting for a rebalance. TP highs here, bro. Doesn't really matter, bro. Overall, today was really free, and it was simple. It was literally just about narrative and understanding what price is doing. Okay, knowing why NFP was bullish and why we seen a continuation higher. You know what I'm saying? Because we rebalanced the weekly candle. We're in deep discount. All right, and when you're in discount, are you trying to short or are you trying to long? Come on. Isam had a question as well. Can you explain for these shorts how we know we aren't going to internally manipulate the slow, then rebalance higher, and take you out? That's the only reason why I didn't take the shorts, and we were also super close to the DOL. This was yesterday. Let me find it. He was talking about right here. Okay. This was the here. It was even like London time, yeah, but we were close to it. On the 50-minute, what do you see? You have a low that was placed inside of Asia, or like literally right out of Asia, and not even in London time. Okay. Sorry, 1 second. You have draws below you. You have this draw, and you have this draw. You have these draws as well. Okay. From there, you're going to see what price is doing from every time we take out the draw. But let me go on the 5 minutes so it's easier to see. If this was protected, if this draw was like protected, why would price look to take it out? Okay, it doesn't make sense for price to take it out, especially after we had this internal manipulation. Boom, price sweeps, a lot of accumulation, price sweeps, and we see some nice longs. Okay, but we never really got past these highs, these Asia highs over here. We're still inside of them. Okay, and price did take out the high, and from there we seen bearish. So you might think reversal, or price might internally manipulate at this low before reversing. Doesn't make sense to internally manipulate here when we have draws lower. All right, especially since we are bearish. We're coming off current high of the week, and price has just been dumping during New York PM. When have you seen price dump a lot during New York PM? Unless we have like news or something happens, then you see a dump. But overall, you see a lot of moves happen in New York. So if you see 930 open up, give you an SMT here, or no, it was like the SMT was like here, but give you an SMT and you have internal manipulation and you're seeing a continuation lower, this tiny piece of turtle soup is not gonna look to reverse price and continue us higher. It doesn't make sense. All right, especially since this low was made out of nothing. Like, what did this low sweep for it to be protected or have any purpose? You know, we're still inside of this piece of accumulation. Okay, think about it. If this low had any significance to reverse price or give us internal manipulation to continue higher, even though the DOL was near us, it would have already done that. Price would have already started reversing and continuing higher, but it didn't. You know, because it was targeting these lows, these lows, these lows. You get me? So, don't treat internal manipulation as the holy grail. When you have external manipulation, you have already internal manipulation up here. Price already swept highs, okay? And we've been shorting. We've been rebalancing back into the order block right here. As you see, price rebalanced back inside the order block, okay? And from there, we've just been shorting. Respectfully, like, respect to the CE. You have Turtle Soup, internal manipulation inside the SIBI, okay? And you have SMT at the same time, like here. Let me work it out. Here you have like SMT at 933, I remember. SMT, turtle manipulation, turtle soup inside the CB, order block respect, and you have external liquidity that was swept. What more do you need? That price is going to continue lower, dumping, and price won't react off this small internal move. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. You're giving that internal manipulation too much power. So, if you already have manipulation up top and we're continuing bearish and you see so many rebalances, just take the trade, enter. Like, I see why people took it. I was concerned because we got nice displacement, rebalance displacement with order block disrespect. But I was just super cautious of that level because it was pre-NFP too. I wanted to be patient. Same thing with yesterday too. I wanted to see what we do at the high. Pre-NFP only gives bad price when, for example, we don't have any DOLs. When price already took out everything. When price has no objective to go. For example, like today. Not today. Yesterday, it gave us a nice dump. So when we dumped, we sold off Thursday, we rebalanced, alright? NFP is not going to do much. It's not going to look to create a dramatic effect, none of that, because price already did what price did. You know what I'm saying? We dumped, took out the DOL, and we chopped around. We accumulated. Okay? So NFP is not going to do a lot. It's just going to look to continue in the direction of where price is heading. So that's pretty much it. Just take it, bro. Accept the risk, enter the trade, and take it. You know, what's the most that could happen? You hit SL. Okay? So what? And yeah, that's pretty much it for PA Breakdown, man. It's kind of long, I'm not gonna lie. But it went through like narrative and everything else, so yeah.